All righty, here we go. Today we have O-Block Louie, who was with King Von at the time of his tragic passing. Louie was shot in the head with one bullet and is now recovering after 10 operations. Welcome to VladTV.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Hey, man, I'm glad you're here right now. A very, very tragic situation, which you luckily survived.
Yeah.
Well, it's your first time here. I want to start in the very beginning. So you grew up in Southside Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was that like in the 2010s?
I mean, it's just how it was. It's self-explanatory. The same stuff that's going on right now.
Okay. And you had 7 siblings.
Yeah.
Right. 2 on your dad's side and 5 on your mom's side.
Yeah. I got a brother too, though.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, what was that like growing up? Were both your parents around or you grew up with just your mom?
I mean, I grew up with just my mom. But my daddy was in the mix, but, I grew up with my mom.
Okay. And you actually knew Chief Keef fairly early.
I mean, yeah, he was around.
Okay. So you were born in O-Block. You moved there at one point.
No, I'm really from the Calumet building. But once the Calumet building got tore down, then that's when I came to Parkway.
Okay. And how old were you when that happened?
Calumet building went down. It's been a little minute, like a minute.
Okay. So what year did you actually meet King Von?
I met King Von probably in like 2009, 2010.
Okay. Was he rapping back then or no?
That's the thing. He was never known for rapping. But once he got out of jail, he took a try at it and he just blew up.
Okay. And we're going to get to that point. I just want to kind of set up a timeline of what everything happened. So you're living in O-Block, and then Chief Keef, who you knew back then, in 2012, he drops Don't Like.
Yeah.
Do you remember how big that was when he dropped that?
That was one of the hottest ones. That was definitely one of the hottest ones.
Okay, because, Chicago hip-hop's been around forever. You can go back to Crucial Conflict, you can go back to Twister, you can go back to Common, but the type of hip-hop, Chicago drill, really wasn't on the map until Chief Keef came out, when he dropped Don't Like and Love Sosa, and I feel like suddenly there was this big, big spotlight on Chicago.
Yeah.
What do you think changed after he dropped that?
I mean, he opened the door for a lot of niggas. That's one thing I can say. Like, all the stuff that happened, but if you look at it, he still opened the door for a lot of niggas.
Right. And before then, you've never heard of O-Block, but he really put O-Block on the map.
Hey, for real.
Now, do you know Odie Perry?
Yeah.
Okay, were you guys close?
I mean, he was one of the ones that I was close with, He was definitely one of the ones I was close with.
When he got killed, how'd you feel?
I mean, that was the first loss, so it hit a little different, because that was really one of the first losses. But how everybody, well, I ain't gonna say everybody, but how a certain person will feel when somebody die. Can't really give you an explanation on it, but the same way you would feel if somebody die that you close to.
And that was the first person that actually died that you were close to?
Yeah.
Right, because 2011, you were like 14 at the time?
Yeah, somewhere now.
Okay. He made such an impact that whole area was called O-Block after him.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, thanks, man. But we all got to go through it.
Okay, so like I said, Chief Keef drops 2000. Don't Like in 2012. He signs his major deal. He blows up, and then there's this big spotlight on Chicago hip hop, and you start seeing a lot of different artists start to pop up and everything else like that. Now, before then, there was always beef in hip hop, but people weren't talking about smoking their dead enemies and stuff like that, like smoking Tuka and everything else like that. When you were you guys already talking like that before the music?
I mean, no, we definitely wouldn't.
Okay, so when you start hearing that in the music and then it spills into social media, how did you feel about that?
I mean, at a time it was a trend, but as you get older and see, like, man, this ain't what it is. That's just what it is. But some people don't get it until it's too late, and then you got some that do get it. So,
Well, 2014, King Von wasn't really rapping yet, but he ends up getting charged with 1 count of first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted murder.
yeah.
Were you guys hanging out when he got picked up?
I mean, yeah, we was hanging out.
Okay. How did he take it when he got arrested?
No, I wasn't with him the day he got arrested though.
Right. Okay. When you weren't with him the day, but I mean, did he feel like, okay, I'm about to get arrested, like, it's looking bad for me? Was it a total shock when he got picked up?
I mean, I ain't gonna say it was a shocking, but at the end of the day, man, when you do something, even though you got found not guilty for it, I mean, that's just something you gotta man up to, you know?
Okay. So now King Von is locked up. Do you know Big Mike?
I mean, I do, but I'd rather not speak on him. For real, for real.
Okay, fair enough, because Big Mike essentially testified against King Von.
Yeah, I'd rather not speak on that.
Okay. When King Von was locked up, because he was locked up from 2014 to 2017, that's 3 years. Did you guys keep in contact at all?
I mean, a little bit, a little bit. I ain't gonna say like all the way, but we kept in contact.
Okay. And then in December of 2017, King Von gets acquitted of all his charges
Yeah.
and he comes home. Were you with him when he first comes home?
Nah, I wasn't.
Okay. So when did you guys link up again?
I mean, see, Vaughn, he was just different, but we linked up once he came to the block, cause the thing about it, he wanted to go right to the block, which I ain't understand why, but he wanted to go right to the block. And to this day, I still don't wonder why.
So what do you mean he wanted to go straight to the block? To O Block?
Yeah.
Okay. But he's from there, right?
I mean, but you just got out.
Oh. Okay.
So, I mean, if anything, you should be trying to do something else
Right. Go on vacation
or something.
or something. Okay. So now he starts hanging out at O Block again. So how long before he gets out does he start actually taking the rapping seriously?
I ain't gonna lie, him and Zoo had made a song, and he wasn't really taking it serious, but he started taking it serious after he made, like, I want to say, like, his first 3 songs, and then everybody got to telling him, like, man, you need to take this serious, and he took it serious, and look what he was able to accomplish before he got up out of here.
Right. So the early songs were like Beat That Body with Zoo.
Yeah.
Right. That came out in 2018, and then War With Us came out
Yeah, War
around
With
the
Us
same
was a
time.
hit.
Right. So how long after he started like seriously rapping does Lil Durk sign him?
You know, that part, I don't really know because that's his business. So that's another thing I can't speak on because I don't really know, so I can't say.
Okay, did you know Durk?
I mean, yeah, I know Dirt.
Okay, but you weren't really close.
No, not how I was with Vaughn.
Okay, but at one point, Durk does sign Vaughn, and at that point, Durk was on fire. So suddenly, everything raises up.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Vaughn signed to him or not, so I can't say.
Okay, I see what you mean. But they do start to click up, and they start
Yeah,
doing
they
songs and
they definitely was
projects.
clicking up and doing what they was doing, but far as signing, I don't know if Vaughn signed it to him.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what the paperwork is, but I'm just saying Vaughn became part of OTF, and now he's doing songs, projects,
Yeah,
mixtapes, everything else like that with Durk.
make it seem like he signed to him, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know the paperwork, but regardless, but they're working together.
Yeah.
Okay, so then in 2018, after a couple of songs, Vaughn drops Crazy Story.
Now that was the one.
That was the one.
That was the one right there.
Right. It eventually goes 3 times platinum.
Yeah.
Uh, I think like 750 million streams among all the different platforms.
Hey, it
And
definitely did what it's supposed to did.
oh yeah, and then there was a Crazy Story remix with Lil Durk. Then there was a Crazy Story Part 3.
Nah, I like the first one.
Yeah. Now the first one was the classic, but the other ones are doing big numbers too. Did you guys know that was going to be the big song?
I mean, like I said, I've never known Vaughn to be a rapper, so this was all just new to me. Like, I'm not even gonna say that I knew it was gonna do that because I'm not knowing him to be a rapper, so I'm thinking he just trying something.
Hmm.
But once it did what it did, shit, I even tell him he needs to start taking it serious.
Right, because that song drops, goes crazy, and then in 2019, Vaughn drops the Grandson Volume 1 mixtape.
Yeah,
And that was his first real mixtape, right?
yeah.
Okay. How was the reaction to that?
I mean, you know, he was just working at that time, you know, getting in where he fit in.
The Grandson nickname, what exactly did that mean? Because I've heard different stories.
Nah, I guess they was trying to tell him that he was King David grandson or something like that, so that's where the name come from.
Right, but from what I heard, he's not really King David's grandson.
He not.
Yeah, but it was a cool little,
He's
a cool little thing. I can see why he would run with it.
yeah.
Right, because King David was a big figure in Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going crazy with this mixtape, and then in 2020 he drops "Took Her to the O."
That was another one.
800 million streams on that.
Yeah.
That was, I think, his biggest song at that point.
Yeah, it was.
By the time that dropped, like, what did you notice that was different?
You know, more shows, all type of stuff. You know, everything was just coming in handy how it's supposed to come in handy.
Right, because then he drops the LeVon James mixtape.
Yeah.
Then he drops Welcome to O Block, the album.
Yeah.
And that's his first like official album?
Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, that's when all, the shows are now cranking up and everything else like that.
Yeah.
And you were always with him when he did shows out of town?
Well, you know, I lived it with him, so
Oh, okay.
it was like, you know, I just want to say this, like he done did so much for me, like I can't even thank him enough.
Like during this time of him starting to blow up and touring around and doing shows, what do you think were some of your greatest experiences with him?
Just being there, really just being there and watching him come from the ground up It was just being
There was a viral clip where he went to O Block and he had 100,000 in cash,
yeah.
and you were right there, right?
Yeah, I was, but I wasn't in the pitch,
Okay,
if that makes sense.
okay. Well, what was his reason for doing that?
I mean, what everybody should want to do, give back to the community.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are in 2020. He's got big songs, big projects. Well, for the longest time, he had been beefing with FBG. And on July of 2020, FBG Duck drops Dead Bitches, where he disses Odie Perry, he disses T-Roy, who was close to Von, he disses Lil Steve, and a bunch of other people, even like women that lived over there and stuff like that. When that song dropped, how did you feel about it?
I mean, people gonna do what they do. So I can't even feel no type of way because you dissing his people and he dissing your people. So I mean, at the end of the day, it really needs to be a stop to it. But people gonna be who they gonna be. So I can't really worry about nobody but myself.
Right, because Von had talked about FBG Brick in some of his songs, which is Duck's brother. So yeah, it was going back and forth. I mean, did you know Duck at all?
I mean, I knew him, but we ain't never had no altercation or nothing like that. But I mean, like, if you beef with my guys, then that's what it is, you know?
I mean, when you look at that time and when you think about it, do you think at some point someone could have came in and said, you know something, this is getting out of hand. This is gonna potentially go really bad, which eventually it did. Could we just have a truce and just let bygones be bygones? And, like, yeah, we both said what we said, but let's just not keep it going.
I mean, yeah, I would love for something to happen like that, but you got to think about the people that they done lost they kinfolks or something like that. You can't tell them how to feel, but, you know, I would hope it'll stop at some point, though.
Yeah. Well, because on August 4th, 2020, FBG Duck gets killed.
Yeah.
When you heard about that, what'd you feel?
I mean, I ain't really had no feelings to that, you know?
Okay. So then we fast forward to November 6th, 2020. Now, King Von and NBA Youngboy and Quando Rondo had some sort of friction together. The rumor was that King Von was hanging out with Youngboy's baby mother, and then Quando Rondo, who signed to Youngboy, put himself into that situation. I mean, from your point of view, what was the problem with everybody?
I mean, to be honest, only they'll be able to tell you that the people, Young Boy and Vaughn, they could be the only one that could tell you that because I really don't know what happened with that. At one
Well,
point they was cool, but I don't know what happened.
right, because at one point, Von and Quando started beefing, and Von said that he gonna do something to him when he sees him.
Yeah.
I mean, you're living with Von. You're right there. Did you ever try to say, listen, a lot of this shit is unnecessary. You're making a lot of money right now for the first time ever. You're out of jail. You got fans. You got shows. You got streams. You got more girls than you've ever had before. Did you ever try to just get him to calm down?
I mean, I have before now. I ain't gonna say every time because at the end of the day, Vaughn gonna be his own man anyway. So, but I mean, it done been a time where I ain't gonna say exactly everything that you said, but it done try to been times I done told him, but I mean, Vaughn is just really a lot to deal with. And that's really all I can say. Like he can hard and all that, but he just a lot to deal with.
Okay, so the night of the incident, uh, you guys were actually celebrating Boss Top's birthday.
Yeah. Well, top birthday.
Yeah. Shout out to Boss Top. I've interviewed him before. Good dude. So, correct me if I'm wrong. The crew that you guys had together, it was King Von, of course. It was you. It was 100K Track, who was the manager, who I've interviewed. Slutty, Boss Top, and you guys had a security guard with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, who was the security guard?
His name was KJ.
Okay. Was this like professional security or just someone you guys knew?
No, he's a professional security guard.
Okay. So you guys are all in the parking lot hanging out. And then King Von sees Quando Rondo. Describe from your point of view what happens at that point.
I mean, you know what happened when somebody say they gonna send somebody in. They send him, ain't nothing else to talk about.
Right. Because as soon as Von sees Quando, he runs up on him and they start fighting.
Yeah.
Did that surprise you when you saw that?
I mean, it ain't surprising because we had already talked about this, so it really ain't surprised me. Because he already said what he was going to do when he catch him. But, I mean, it ain't have to go like that, but instead it did.
Okay. So you're watching the fight start to happen. Did you start to run towards him or try to break it up or anything?
No, because Lul Tim got out the car. And I guess they trying to say that's who shot him, which I don't really know, but, you know, that's just what they trying to say.
So the fight's happening. Lul Tim gets out the car. Slutty is right there too, right?
I believe so.
And then the shots start to break out because there's also police all
Yeah,
around.
once that shot rang out, everybody just got to shooting.
Okay. How many shots did you hear before you got hit yourself? Or do you not remember this part?
Hey, I'd be lying if I told you I remember.
Okay, but do you remember any shots going off?
Yeah, I remember shots being going out, but I can't sit and tell you how many it was, though.
Okay, so you end up getting shot in the head.
Yeah.
Where were you in terms of your vicinity next to everybody else?
I can't even remember that part. But I know I was on the stretcher, though.
Okay. Well, like I said, Lul Tim gets out the car. He allegedly shoots. The police starts to shoot, and shots are just going all over the place.
Yeah.
King Von gets hit. Slutty gets shot as well. How close were you to Slutty?
Well, you know, Slutty was like a big bro, cause you know he was a little older than us, and his brother T. Roy and HK. Them was the crowd right there. So Slutty was a little older.
Okay, that's T. Roy's brother. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the shots are going off. You end up getting shot in the head. At what point do you remember anything? What is the next memory you have from the shooting to remembering anything?
I mean, it just all depends. Cause it could be some stuff that I remember from back in the day. And then like sometimes it'll be some stuff that just happened, like, and I'll be like, I don't remember that. But so far, everything going good. I can't complain about nothing. I'm here. I'm talking. I'm walking. I'm doing everything. So, you know, everybody can say what they want to say, but at the end of the day, I'm still here.
Well, do you remember yourself on the stretcher?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're actually conscious
Now,
on the
like,
stretcher.
nah, I ain't saying like I just don't remember nothing.
Okay. So you remember yourself on the stretcher. Do you remember yourself taken to the hospital?
That part I don't remember.
Okay. At what point do you remember them telling you that King Von had died?
I was in a coma, but once I came out and they told me like it was, I ain't make it to the funeral, so it was really kind of hard.
Right. You were in a coma for 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay. But at one point, 2 months later, you do come out the coma. And how soon after coming out the coma did they tell you what happened to Von?
I don't even remember. I don't remember.
Okay. Do you at all remember how you felt when they told you that Von had died?
I mean, it was just so much. Like I just got shot in the head, and everything. Then I had people telling me stuff, so I was just putting stuff together, and it all made sense.
I mean, I understand. You just got shot in the head and things are, this is the craziest time ever in your life. But at some point, it does hit you that here is your close friend who you were living with.
It hit me every day. It definitely do. It hit me every day. Cause we supposed to be doing something else, and this stuff that happened. So it definitely hit me every day. I can't even lie about that one.
Did you ever cry at some point when it really did hit you?
I mean, everybody done cried before. I don't know nobody could say they ain't never cried before.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because not only did you lose King Von, but you also lost Slutty.
Right.
So the two of them, two of the people you came with are now gone. Now, they said the security guard allegedly ran when the shooting started.
That part I don't know about. You might have to get him up here, though.
Okay. Did you feel that Von should have been better protected in a situation like that? Security should have snatched him up before he got to Quando, or,
Hey, it's a lot of stuff that could have happened, but it didn't.
Okay. So by the time you come out of the coma, had they done any surgeries?
Yeah, I had 2 surgeries before I even came out.
Okay. So you came out the coma and you already had 2 surgeries. When you first looked at yourself in the mirror and you see the scars and the swelling and everything else like that, how'd you feel?
I ain't gonna lie. When I first seen it, I'm like, man. And then I had to think about it like I could have been dead. So then I had to just look at it from a different point of view. And I just took it on the chin. I mean, people gonna say what they wanna say and feel how they wanna feel, but it's all about how I'm feeling.
Hey, man, listen, the internet's going to be the internet, but you are alive
For
after
sure.
getting shot in the head. So fuck what anyone else is talking about. You are alive right now, speaking, walking, eating, traveling. Like nobody can tell nothing to you right now.
Hey, that's what I be trying to say, but people got their opinion how they feel, so I'm gonna let them feel how they feel.
Was that the first time you ever got shot?
No, I had got shot in my hand before, but that was in Chicago.
In your hand?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's more of a minor injury.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you have 2 surgeries while you're still in the coma. And by the way, before I ask the next question, where exactly in the head did you get shot?
It was like in the back somewhere. I really want to take my head off, but it's gonna cost a little more.
Okay. Well, because at one point you actually posted a picture of yourself with your hat off,
Yeah.
and it shows kind of like the part in your hair, and that's the scar where they had to operate.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have 2. Well, and number one, do you know who shot you?
Police.
The police shot you.
Yeah.
Okay.
What they saying somebody else shot me?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Hey, you
I have
probably
no
know.
idea. No, I don't actually. I really don't. I mean, that whole situation was a mess, man. We were reporting on it when it happened because me and King Von were actually supposed to have an interview. Me and Track had already been talking, and we are trying to schedule it. So I was looking forward to actually interviewing for the first time. So when I saw this, I'm like, oh no, like this is the worst situation ever.
Yeah, man, that was crazy.
So you have 2 operations, you come out the coma, and then over the next few months you have 8 more surgeries.
Yeah, it's just been rough, but what can I say? Once again, I'm here, I'm talking. Evidently, it ain't my time.
Right, you had posted some of the videos to kind of give people updates. I remember once you were in the hospital bed. This other time you were walking around and you had a helmet on.
Yeah.
And the helmet was to what, just keep everything in place between the surgeries?
Nah, just make sure I don't hit my head the wrong way
Yeah.
because the stuff wasn't in there, but I don't wear it no more.
So what exactly were the surgeries doing? Did they have to like cut open your skull, or did they just put a hole in and put something small in there? Or?
No, I think they had to cut it open.
Okay. And one of the surgeries, 17 hours long.
Yeah, that was rough right there.
Like coming out of each of these surgeries, was it just like the worst feeling in the world, like every time, over and over again?
Nah, man. After that 17 hours, like they had to almost scrap me down because I was study trying to see what was going on. So they almost had to strap me down until I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead on.
Okay, so 10 surgeries in, are you completely done?
Who knows? Can't say.
Okay, I mean, did they tell you that there might have to be some more?
I gotta go see.
What was the recovery process like?
You know, when I first got out, like I ain't go straight home. I went to some like place that like help you walk and stuff again, but I had already knew how to walk. It's just I just had to learn a lot of stuff over. But everything got better. So it is what it is.
So you were able to walk the whole time?
I mean, not like actually walk all the way, but like once they told me that I had to go to this place until I learned how to walk, I learned how to walk, but they still send me there.
Okay. The the talking and the speech. I mean, when I'm speaking to you now, I mean, I don't know you from before. Do you speak the same as before, or is it a little bit different?
I mean, some people say it's a little different, but you know, I got shot in the head. But at the end of the day, what could I say? I'm here. And that's just that. So anybody else could say what they want to say. And y'all know who y'all is, but anyways,
Well, Lul Tim, he got shot also. And I heard he got shitbagged.
I don't know. That part,
Okay.
I don't know.
Eventually, and how long ago was this? This was last year. Lul Tim actually had charges dropped and they cleared him of the shooting. I don't know whether there wasn't enough evidence or maybe one of the police officers shot Vaughn. Do you know about this?
You know, not really. I ain't gonna say I don't be on the internet because I be on the internet a lot, but you know, that type of stuff I try to stay away from. It happened. It is what it is.
You know, when you talk to people about this, I mean, of course, the King Von fans are going to feel a certain type of way. But when you look at the situation, you know, I remember I interviewed, you know, people like 600 Breezy, and they said, well, if the roles were reversed, same thing could have happened to Quando and Tim. You know, that you're supposed to protect your people if they're in danger. Do you feel any sort of way about Lil Tim doing what he allegedly did, or was it like that's just part of the game?
I mean, of course I'm gonna feel some type of way, but at the end of the day, you gotta do that for real though. But of course I'm gonna feel some type of way. That ain't no question to ask.
Yeah. How do you feel about Quando Rondo? Because he tried to say that he didn't have any sort of real beef with him, and I think he actually even tried to get Vaughn to like to
Hey,
safety at one point. I don't know.
hey, I don't even want to talk about him.
Okay, fair enough. Well, in 2021, 5 men get arrested for the murder of FBG Duck. Muwap, who you heard Vaughn mention on a bunch of songs, C Thing, Los, Kenny Mac, C Murder. Do you know all these guys?
Uh, you can say that. Yeah,
Okay.
you can say that. If you ask me who I rock with, then yeah. But what you finna say?
Well, how'd you feel, you know, considering that you do know these guys to a certain extent, how'd you feel when all 5 of them got arrested?
I mean, hey, that part I really don't know what to say. They say they found them guilty, but I mean anybody could just say they found them guilty, I guess. But once it go to them people, then you will see. But right now, yeah, I believe they found guilty.
Well, right. In January 17th of this year, the O Block 6, because TZ got included in that as well. He got found guilty along with the other 5. And now, although they haven't been sentenced, they're all facing mandatory life sentences.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you heard about the guilty pleas? I mean, the guilty verdict.
I mean, I really ain't know how to feel, to be honest. You know, because when you say in life, that's a hard pill to swallow. Knowing you ain't never coming home, certain people got kids, so it's just, I wouldn't know how to feel.
You know, when you look at what happened in the court case, and I interviewed a couple of people about this, the story goes that TZ told the other guys that FBG Duck had pulled a gun on him or something like that. And he called everyone and then they showed up. But that really didn't happen. When you kind of peel away the story, they're saying that TZ was mad because Duck was messing with one of his girls or something like that. Something stupid.
See what I'm saying? Now that type of stuff right there, I wouldn't know about that because I don't know Teasy and I don't know who he fucking on, so I can't really say. You get me?
Yeah, I get you, man. I mean, the whole thing is a mess. The whole thing, you know, you not only did Duck get killed, and you know, I'd interviewed Duck before, a couple of times. I'd even told him to get out of Chicago both times, and he wouldn't listen. And then you got, 6 other people who now have life sentences. So they're eventually, essentially gone as well in terms of being able to raise their families and live their lives. So now you got 7 people that are gone. It's not a win on any, nobody wins,
That's the thing right there at the end. Nobody win.
Nobody wins. I mean, yeah, I'm sure someone could say, oh, yeah, we got this dude who was an op, but a life sentence ain't worth that.
Hey, it definitely ain't.
I mean, when you look at the life that you lived and the loss that you saw around you, do you feel that a lot of this shit just ain't worth it?
Hey, it ain't worth it. That's the thing. It ain't. But I don't know, man. Think about it. Everybody just got their own, man, how they gonna think. And that's just that. All you can do is just worry about yourself.
Well, right, because not long after Vaughn gets killed, Dirk's brother, D-Thing, gets killed.
Yeah.
And I knew D-Thing, man. He was a cool-ass dude.
Hey,
A
D-Thing,
cool-ass dude.
D-Thing was another one, like, before any of this is even going on, like, D-Thing done bought me shoes and all type of stuff. Like, D-Thing was definitely a real one.
Yeah, man, it's sad. It's sad. And I know Dirk. I've interviewed him a bunch of times. The fame is cool, the money's cool, but the loss, especially Dirk and his brother were really close. We would always see them together. And Vaughn, like I remember at the time, Vaughn was probably the biggest up and coming gangster rapper.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there was more established dudes, but he was the one that was like the one everyone was looking at in that whole genre. It's like, imagine in 2024 how big Vaughn would have been.
Hey, and that's the part right there. That's the stuff a nigga supposed to be thinking about, but instead it went a different way. Which I hate it went that way, but
Well, in 2022, they dropped the King Von, What It Means to Be King album.
yeah.
And Vaughn was already gone by this time. So this was the album they dropped after his passing. What did you think of that album?
I mean, I can't really say, it just I don't want to say it ain't the same because he can't perform it, but it is what it is.
Do you have, like, what are your favorite King Von songs?
I got a lot of like, how some people say, like, I ain't gonna say I like all his songs, but it's still a lot of them that I like. So just trying to pick a favorite one, I won't be able to do it because it's too many that I like.
I mean, is there one? If I had to say, okay, listen, you can only listen to one King Von song for the rest of your life. You got to pick one. What would it be?
It would probably be Crazy Story,
Hmm.
or it'll probably be I don't know. Oh, they don't want to see me make it.
Okay.
That one right there.
Well, right. I mean, to add to the tragedy, Vaughn had how many kids when he passed?
3.
3 kids. And didn't he have a couple of kids on the way?
Not that I know about. I don't know about that part.
Okay. I'd heard he had like 1 or 2 kids on the way as well. So it's just sad that all these kids never really got to be, have their dad growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's a sad ass story.
Mm,
It's a sad ass story. So you yourself, once you started to recover, because you were in Atlanta when all this happened. Were you in the hospital in Atlanta the whole time, or did they move you somewhere else?
Nah, once I went to the little where they had me going to learn how to do what I need to do, that was in Atlanta. But once I got up out of that, then I went back to Chicago, and then all my surgeries been in Chicago.
Okay. And you had talked about you wanted to just get out of Chicago.
Hey, it's coming real soon, real soon.
I mean, do you feel that being in Chicago, and I'm not saying that you're doing anything yourself, you're not active yourself, but because of your affiliation with King Von and all the beef that has gone on back and forth for all the years, do you feel like you're potentially a target yourself?
I mean, I'm gonna put it like this. Everybody that call themselves gangbanging is a target. If the right person catch you, I guess, or even if you got a name and get caught, you a target. So being a target, you gonna always be a target. But just being here, like far as just growing up there my whole life, and now I want to see different stuff. Like that's just what I'm on. I ain't on all that type of other stuff.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you, because you said that you wanted to move, but someone, I think DJU said, "What about Atlanta?" And you said, "I don't want to move to Atlanta either, because this is where all that happened."
Hey, that's how it be. I was on live when I said that. You must got one of them pages don't nobody know or something. Or
No,
you
no,
s- or
I
you
watch
seen
everything, man.
or you seen it on YouTube or something.
No, I mean, some of the lives that you talked about ended up on YouTube, and I watched them.
Yeah.
I mean, when you start posting up the pictures,
They put everything on YouTube though, so
yeah, they do. They do. Well, why did you decide to really put up the pictures of, you know, your head with the swelling and everything else like that? You could have just kept that quiet, or you could have just stayed off the internet.
hey,
Because
that's
you weren't really like a big internet guy before then either, right?
nah, but see, the thing is, that's what they wanted. They wanted to see my head, so I let them see it. So now what? Y'all see my head. What y'all gonna do now? Just talk about it? Y'all gonna get tired of talking about it before I do. So I just gave them what they want. And now I
Right.
see everybody talking about my head, woo 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 and woo woo this. Hey man, say what y'all want, man. That's all I could do.
Hey, man, I'd rather them talk about your head than have you on a T-shirt.
Hey, they gonna talk about it either way it goes, so it don't even matter.
When you look back about, on your relationship with Vaughn, what do you think are some of the greatest memories that you have?
Uh, Good memories or bad memories? I'm sure you talking about good memories, right?
Whatever you want to bring up to you.
I mean, it's a lot. Even when he just look out for kids and stuff like that, cause Vaughn was one of the ones like you could be on Instagram, he ain't gotta know you or none of that. If you say you need something, he'll actually send it to you. And
Hmm.
that's one thing I liked about him. Like he had the other side, but then he had the good side too. Y'all can't just forget about the good side.
So at one point, a blogger from the UK named Traplow Ross, he drops a documentary on YouTube called King Von, Rap's First Serial Killer.
I know about him, but what's going on?
I mean, how do you feel when people talk about him being a serial killer and saying that he has all these bodies and
Hey
everything else like
man,
that?
first off, if you don't know this man, you can't say what this man got. So people like that, you just gotta let them think what they gonna think. They gonna think it regardless. So you saying something, what that's gonna do? None. So
Do you think that, like, for example, regardless of whether it's true or not, because at this point, no one's going to really know, but do you think that him playing up this image and having the type of music that he had made people scared of him and made people like Lul Tim possibly overreact because they were scared of his reputation?
I really don't know, but everybody doing everything. So I mean, you can actually do a reputation without probably actually doing it, because they letting people say anything and do anything and get record deals and all that. So, hey, I don't know what to say. If it's true, then that's what it is. If it ain't, then that's what it is. I don't know. So I can't sit and tell you.
Yeah. You yourself, did you ever do music?
Yeah, a lot of people want me to start back doing music, but I ain't made no music since I got shot.
I mean, going through this, you've said that you don't know if you want to really do it or not.
Sometimes I say I want to do it, and then sometimes I'll be like, man, there's other stuff out here I could do. But who knows? I might start back. I might even talk about the night that happened. Who knows? Just gotta wait and see.
Yeah, man. Well, look, Black Louie, what you went through is really unimaginable. And I know that there was probably some nights that you probably wondered if you could make it through because of all the pain and knowing that you're going to have more surgeries and not knowing if you're going to come out of a surgery. Because a lot of times, the type of surgeries you guys are, you had to do, those weren't like broken fingers or, a broken leg. They're actually
Playing with
fixing
my head.
your head and your brain. So was there any brain damage at all?
Nah, I'm surprised it wasn't, but nah, it wasn't really no brain damage.
Okay,
And I'm
because
kind of glad it wasn't.
did the bullet go into your head or did it get stuck in the skull or what happened?
I think it had just got stuck. Yeah, it had just got stuck.
Did they actually have to did they remove the bullet fragments out of your head?
I think it's still a little bit in there.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, was there ever a time where you felt like, man, I can't do this. I just want to check out. I don't want to do any more surgeries. I don't want to go on anymore. This is just too much to bear.
I can't do that because I done came a long way. God done got me too far to even be trying to think like that. So I can't never think like that. When he ready for me, he gonna be ready for me. But I ain't finna just be ready to check out like that. When you ready for me, you ready for me.
Hey, man, that's a lot of strength right there. Because a lot of people check out with much more minor situations than yours.
Yeah.
Well, Black Louie, man, I appreciate you coming in and sharing your story. King Von is still a very important figure in hip hop and in Chicago. I'm sorry for what you had to go through in terms of not only what happened to you, but essentially your friend who you were living with and Slutty getting killed that same night. And then also Track getting shot in the legs. It is just a worst possible situation over something that honestly didn't even seem like a big deal.
Wasn't about nothing.
Wasn't about nothing. Like seriously, I could imagine if like, I don't know, someone had stolen millions of dollars or someone had killed your mother or raped your sister or something where it's like, all right, like we really have to take care of this.
Yeah.
Because I can't live with myself if I don't somehow make this right. But if it really was over a girl, the pluses so far are outweighed by the minuses that it just doesn't make any sense.
Hey, I just hope that wasn't what it's about either.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Well, Oh, Black Louie, man, I wish you a speedy recovery for what you're going through. Are they saying the swelling's going to keep going down, or?
Yeah, it should. It should, but like I say, even if it don't go down, man, you just gotta be happy to be here and go on with your life, man. That's it.
Yeah, man, it's inspirational. Honestly, like talking to you right now and hearing the way you're expressing yourself and the positivity. Um,
Yeah.
man, there's people who got everything going for them who don't seem like they're as happy as you are right now.
Yeah, man. You gotta stay in that spirit, man, because if you don't, I don't know what to tell you. So
Eh, yeah, man. Well, listen, I wish you all the best and keep spreading that story about the positivity because I know there's someone going through, something similar right now, whether they're a shooting victim or going through like a something health wise, and people have brain cancer and kind of go through after
all
similar
type of
surgeries.
stuff.
They're seeing you right now and saying, something, if he could go through this and have the type of, attitude that he's having right now, I need to pick myself up.
Hey,
And,
for sure. And that's what I'm here for.
that's what it is, man. Pleasure to have you on. Wish you all the best.
All right.
All right, man. Peace.